Hi all, here in the home office. It doubles as a spare bedroom. Um, so I just remembered the section that I made, this little spreadsheet for the class that's interactive. And so what I'm going to do here, of course, since we don't have lecture where I would normally explain how this works, I'm going to make a little video and show you how it works. I strongly encourage you to download this and play around with it. I think it will help you to understand how the various sectors of the economy, household, business, government, so on and so forth, really interact with each other. This spreadsheet is designed in a way that you can just enter numbers, right? And then it will show you how all the other sectors are going to react in the simple model. I have several of these are built each with added degrees of complexity, all using the model presented in the text. So the text, of course, adds more complexity as the term goes on into the basic model that we really develop initially in Chapter 5. And so I've developed several of these sheets to really work through that. And this is the first. This one's the most basic. So again, I encourage you to download it. Play around with it, change the numbers, see how the other sectors react. Break it. It's fine because you can download it again, right? And it's just not broken anymore. But hover over the cells too and see how the formulas are written, because of course what you're learning, nobody's ever going to ask you at a job to tell me maybe if you become an economist, you might have to determine what the impact of a given tax policy is going to be on business. But probably it's not going to happen. But what is going to happen, almost certainly, is when you leave university and you're working in a job setting, is you're going to have to do some simple programming in Excel. And so I strongly encourage you to do that. And this is a way to start to kind of see what I've programmed. All these sheets, all assignments, everything it's written by me, right? That's why it has typos. This, of course, is made by me, so you can kind of see what little simple programming I've done here, and start doing that yourself. So I'm going to do some voiceovers when you're looking at it, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to the sheet here in just a moment. So see you there. Here we are, hopefully on the other side of this. Let's see if I can do this right. Yep. Over there is a spreadsheet that's similar to what you have. Well, it's not similar, it's the same as what you have available to download. And so what I want to do is just take a few minutes and kind of walk you through this a little bit. So moving from left to right, we have the household sector here, the government sector, business sector, and then some given information here. And if we start from the left, then we have incomes and expenditures here. Now we should recall from earlier sections that over time, right, incomes have to equal expenditures, right? Because my income is somebody else's expenditure, right? Your tuition expenditures are my income, right? When you go out and buy lunch, those expenditures are the people at the restaurant's income, right? So it's two sides of the same transaction. So this is kind of our final output box. If we sort of click on any of these, we can see that most of these are formulas, right? This is where we're going to enter information. All this spits out, right? It's a little machine that basically runs the model from your textbook, right? So this is a simple presentation of the model from your textbook programmed into an Excel spreadsheet and then runs automatically, right? So we can see this first cell here, C3, it's stated as being equal to M3. Now in Excel, whenever we want to write a formula, we start off with using equals. And we're telling that cell we want that cell to be equal to the following set of conditions. So this condition is very straightforward, right? Excel, make that equal to M3. So we can figure out what Excel's doing by looking at M3, and sure enough, we over here given 1,000. Watch if I change this to 2,000. 2,000, boom. Now everything's changed. We can see we actually now have unemployment as a result of this. That's in cell D13 there, unemployment, and a contractionary economy. The whole thing has changed down the road. Let's kick that back to 1,000 and see what we get. All right. we can look at any of these cells and kind of see the formula that's there. This looks complicated, okay, right? But what is that? That is again, you really need to sort of poke through this and look at what it's doing. And what you're going to find is that in the book, we give a formula for consumption, right? That cell is consumption. That formula there in that cell is the formula for consumption from your text. It's the same. Okay, it's the same. Taxes there and savings. So again, those things, taxes are a given. They're given from, if we click on that, M4, we can see that that's an input. If we change taxes here to say 100, right, everything else changes, right? And so this is a very simple version of the type of models that economists use, right? So this is, so think like, okay, well, the government's spending more, right? Now the government's spending a lot of money, right, for, all these issues we're having. Well, say we raise government spending to 500, well, what happens, right? We can see what things change. In this case now, net government spending is 500, and so that's changing these income and expenditure things down here. Spending is now 500 more than incomes are, and so what we're going to have is some inflationary expectations, expansionary economy, right? So that's exactly what government's trying to do, is trying to expand the level of economic activity by increasing spending. So, again, I encourage you to play around with all this, kind of see how it works. You can play these games, like you could try to balance this, like, okay, well, if government spending goes up by this much, but yet I don't want there to be any expansion of the economy for whatever reason, how much do I need to raise taxes? Okay, so, if we do one here and then we throw another one here, 100 and 100, right? You can see actually now we have a mild inflationary environment. So maybe we need to increase taxes a little more. We're getting there, right? Okay, you get the idea. So again, play around with this a little bit. Again, it's drawn straight from the type of formulas you have in your book. And again, this is a super, super simple version of the way we do our jobs as economists. So we develop these models. Excel is a good tool, right? It can do some pretty sophisticated stuff. Of course, real macroeconomic models are more sophisticated than this, but all the basics are right here. And these are the type of techniques that you might use in business as well to say forecast, like, how many widgets do I need to make sure my production lines run effectively for the next month? Well, you're going to use very similar types of modeling techniques as this to do that sort of work, right? Or what's my monthly required revenue for my business in order to maintain sufficient cash flow to meet ongoing expenditures like payroll, other expenditures that business have, insurance, rent, so on and so forth. Similar type techniques. So it's extremely useful for you to start working with these set of ideas and to learn how this stuff works. So I think I've probably gone on too long. I'll leave it there. Again, play around with it, break it, doesn't matter. You can download it again and it'll work over and over. Okay. So I hope everybody's doing okay, and hope you found this somewhat useful.